Hi guys, my name is Roger, and I'm building a mid-engine supercar in the basement of my home. Let's take a look at what I've been working on this week.
Okay, this is the new car body design that we're going with, and I showed you this last week. And I like this car design because of the shape of the fenders. You can see the shape of the fender in the front is nice and low in the front, and also in the back it dips down, and the roof line is really nice. So we started modeling the renderings, and you can see the front design here looks like the AI generated car. The side mirrors here stick out and have a nice look to them. And the rear view here, we still have the Camaro taillights here in the rear rendering. And because of the height of these lights, I'm not able to lower the car to match the AI generated car, the silver car that we like. So I'm going to have to replace these lights because they're in the way of the exhaust. The exhaust won't let me lower these Camaro lights any lower. And I'm going to have to buy some Ferrari 488 tail lights. They are smaller and just a round tail light, and I can lower them down beside of the exhaust and get the back end of the car as low as I need it to be to look like the AI generated car. This is a side profile of the car to match the rear view that we have with the Camaro tail lights, and you can see that it is higher in the back end, kind of has a Corvette C8 shape to it. And although I like this shape, it's just not what I'm wanting my car design to look like. I do want it to look more like this rendering here, where the back drops down and has a nice curve to it. And again, you can see we don't have that here on this side profile. And although I really like this shape, I want to try to match it to the AI generated rendering as much as possible. So I'm going to need to replace the taillights to do that. Here is the SolidWorks model for the frame of the car and in some of the interior components that we've started modeling. Here's the back piece, the front piece or firewall, and then the part between the seats here and in the console where the speaker enclosure is. And this is the floor of the car. Right now it is modeled in one piece. So you have the floor that is underneath the driver, the floor that is underneath the passenger, and then the center console, all is one model. But I'm going to need to break these up into 3 different pieces to make them. It's just too large to make as a single piece. So once I break these up into separate pieces, I'm going to start making molds so I can mold these 3 pieces separately. So I took the day off from work yesterday, and I drove these parts down to a company in Greenville, South Carolina yesterday called Digitized Designs, and I worked with Brian and a couple of other guys, and they 3D scanned these parts for me, and it didn't take them hardly any time at all. I was there maybe an hour at the most to bring the pieces of glass in, have them scanned one at a time, and then load them back in my car, and was able to leave and get back on the road. It was a six and a half hour drive down there and back total. It was a tiring day, but it was well worth it. Had a lot of fun talking to these guys and just discussing things and projects that we were both working on. And for that reason, I wanted to give a big shout out to Brian and the guys at Digitized Designs for helping me. And if anyone needs some kind of scanning or modeling work done like this, if you live in North or South Carolina, you can contact these guys. Again, it was Digitized Designs in Greenville, South Carolina, and they were very professional and very helpful, and I had a great time working with and meeting these guys.
And that's going to be about it for this week's video. Next thing I'm going to be working on is as soon as it stops raining, which hopefully will be sometime in the next few hours or tomorrow at the latest, I need to go buy a load of MDF and start making molds for the floor of the car, the interior floorboards of the car. Once those molds are done for the floor of the car, I will go ahead and start making the carbon fiber pieces and getting those trimmed to fit, and we'll see how far I get in next week's video and if I can get the molds finished and make parts both. But if not, hopefully we'll at least be making molds and start working on some of the interior components of the car and getting those finished while we're waiting on Fatah to finish remodeling and redesigning the outside of the car body. Anyway, that's going to be about it for this week's video, and I'll see you guys again in 1 or 2 weeks.